very warm welcome to you here in Old Trafford in Manchester for this 1989 Rugby League World Challenge between Canberra and Widnes, the champions here in England. Nice to have you with us right round Australia. Indeed, it's great weather here in England at the moment. They enjoyed a marvellous summer and they're enjoying a mild autumn, and the weather is beautiful here tonight, and the crowd is starting to build up. A crowd they hope to see around 40,000 as we approach the kick-off, which is about 25 minutes away. And we've been enjoying great weather, all the Channel 10 crew here, including Ian Maurice, and of course we look forward to this great clash.
It should be fantastic, Graham, and we should point out, of course, the time difference. It's just a little after 4:30 in Australia. Here it's just after 7:30 Wednesday night. So while you're enjoying a very early breakfast, settle down and watch some great rugby league here at Manchester. Now let me tell you, Manchester is about 3 hours drive up the motorway from London. Great town, beautiful Manchester. Manchester was originally a Roman settlement. It was at the hub of the Industrial Revolution of the 19th century, and through the years, its textile industry has brought wealth and people to the city. These days, the Greater Manchester area boasts a bigger population than the City of London.
Rugby League World Club Challenge hits Manchester. Widnes, the English champions, take on Aussie champions Canberra. It's Old Trafford, house of the gods, for the best in rugby league tonight.
It's them and us, the best of Britain versus Australia. Rugby League is back at Manchester United's Old Trafford, with British champions Widnes meeting the newly crowned Sydney Premiership winners. The world giants clash in the £50,000 Foster's World Club Challenge on Wednesday the 4th of October at 8 p.m. Seat tickets now available from Manchester United, with admission to all parts of the ground on the night. For the best in the world, Widnes versus Canberra, be at Old Trafford on Wednesday the 4th of October.
It is Piccadilly Key 103 FM Manchester.
And of course, just down the road from Manchester United's Old Trafford, the famous Old Trafford where Alan Border and his Ashes winning team really did perform some marvellous feats in that summer here in England. The Ashes on their way back home, and that was a great sight there when Border was up on the terraces. And those terraces now, all they have filled with them is the echoes of an Australian victory, and maybe can it be the Canberra Raiders who turn that around here tonight and defeat Widnes. Widnes are the hot favourites here in England because for the first time ever they've performed the double, and that is the Championship and the Premiership. They did that back in May when they were too strong for Brian Smith's Hull team. On that occasion they won the match 18 points to 10.
Coloto. He stands and unloads for Wright. Wright gets around Fletcher. He's going to score. They've done it from inside their own territory. Darren Wright is the man that's got the try. Hull really stretching Widnes. Pearce again. DeBordy. He gets right through. Where's the support? There's the try.
Great try, great try.
Davies.
Hull have actually exposed Widnes on the flanks a few times, but they haven't used the ball quick enough. That was a bad kick.
The Rugby Union international from Wales has made a mistake. He didn't find touch. Fletcher, good run from fullback. Difficult pass. It's been kicked through. Davies might score. He's offside. John Holsworth's got him offside. 3-all the scrums. I was going to say 4-all the penalties. Make that 5-4 in favour of Hull, and the scoreline of 6-all. Now Pearce. Can he break this scoreline? Plenty of concentration from him. He's bent it around. It's a wonderful kick. Last tackle. He's in the right position. Will he have time? They go blindside. Taken beautifully by Currier. He's got the pace. Here comes Pearce. He won't match it. Fletcher won't match it, or will he? They're going to go the length of the field. Unbelievable. A mistake by Hull, and they've been burned by it. A great crowd here for the Premiership final. Now, Widnes against the feed. Tate again. A fire. He's after 100 tries. They won't touch him. Look at the pace. He does a dance. Grimmer. Again he busts the line. And what a ball for Myler. That was forward. Martin Afire's not going to like it, but he's got to come all the way back.
Another outstanding player.
There it is. look of a winner, Alan Tate and the Widnes supporters. They are the championship and premiership final double winners, capping a great career for Sorensen. And another magic moment for the Widnes skipper after a classic match.
Yes, and just a few hundred more people than that. In fact, 40,500 people turned up at the Sydney Football Stadium only 10 days ago to witness the Rugby League Grand Final between Canberra and Balmain, the battle for the Winfield Cup, the symbol of supremacy in Australian Rugby League, and what a grand final it was in one of the greatest grand finals of all time. It was Canberra running out champions 19-14 in extra time. Oh, gee, you get goosebumps every time you look at that. What a great grand final that was. And that's how Canberra and Widnes came to be here at Old Trafford tonight to battle for the World Club Championship. OK, put some toast and coffee on, because we're back here in just a minute at Old Trafford. Don't go away.
Old Trafford with this 1989 World Rugby League Club Challenge. Nice to have you with us back home in Australia. Good morning to you all again. And the Canberra side, they've just hit Old Trafford here and are warming up in front of a good crowd. Very keen to lift this World Trophy here to prove to everybody that they are the champions in the game of Rugby League for 1989. Looking very fit, and of course they're only playing 10 days ago. And what a match this shapes to be. And the man who'll be joining us in the commentary sideline for this World Club Challenge, Brian Smith, the former Illawarra Steelers coach, now with Hull in the north of England. Brian, nice to have you with us. It's going to be a great game.
Thank you, Graham. Yeah, looking forward to it immensely.
Just how do you think this is going to unfold?
I think Canberra's defence is the key to this. If Canberra defend well, Widnes won't know what to do. I don't think they can handle sustained pressure.
What about the combination of the centres? Jonathan Davis up against Mal Meninga.
I'd be having a nightmare if I were Davies.
And what about yourself with this Hull side? How have they started the season here?
Well, we've had a sloppy start. We need to improve, but we're looking forward to a great season.
All right, we'll look forward to your comments right throughout the match. And I'll just make mention now that we're trying to battle with a rock band who are currently entertaining the crowd here at Old Trafford. So forgive the noise. We're trying to do our best to get above them. And it's nice also to welcome to everybody back there in Australia, John Money, the Parramatta coach, who is now linked up with the famous Wigan club. And Wigan off to a great start for you, John.
Yeah, we've won quite a few games.
What a view. It's a tough battle here at the moment. I know the supporters, one of the most vocal in the north of England here for Wigan.
Yeah, well, I think it'll be a great game tonight, but I can't actually hear what you're saying, Graham. It's just too noisy.
Well, I know we're still battling with this band. It's rather confusing here, but how do you see the game really unfolding? Do you think Canberra really will win it by, say, 10 or 12 points? A lot of critics think they're too strong out wide.
Well, I think with the emphasis on attacking football in England, I think that there'll be a lot of points scored, and I can see Canberra running in a lot of points. I haven't seen Widnes, so I can't really comment on them, but we all know that if Martin Afire gets away, nobody will catch him, and we know that Andy Courier will kick goals from anywhere, so could be a great game.
I believe John Money celebrates a birthday on Friday.
Yeah, I'm 43 on Friday. I look 21, but really I'm 43.
Brave man in rugby league who tells the truth too. Good luck on Friday, John. All right, John Money and also Brian Smith will be joining us for the commentary right throughout. And of course, the first World Club Challenge took us back to 1987. It was the Manly champions of Australia taking on the team that now John Money has linked up with, Wigan. 37,000 fans packed Central Park, and it was a great way to kick off the inaugural World Challenge.
Paul Shaw is out there at the moment for the Manly side. It's a great moment for him. There's Cochrane, scurries from dummy half, popped it up beautifully for Dale Shearer, and he's been ruled to have held it up over the line. Watch for Joe Lydon. We'll see the clearing kick from inside the quarter line. Well, good. That's good pressure by Gibbs, but Lydon evades the tackle, but it did put his kick under pressure. Oh, Lydon fielded it beautifully. Good wave. Sean Edwards. Superb play by Wigan. Edwards, oh, what a great counter-attack by Wigan. And Joe Lydon was the man that sparked it. Product of the Wigan St Patrick local junior club here. Ellery Hanley. There's the strength of Hanley. Oh, good play. Beautiful pass to Stevenson. He's got back inside. Russell in support.
inside the 22, but Cliff Lyons is there. But this crowd is to its feet.
Lydon, attempted drop goal, taken out by Gibbs. Well, Joe Lydon has been absolutely flattened, and I think he's been sent from the field for using the elbow. Ronnie Gibbs, I think he's been sent from the field in his very last appearance for Manly Warringah. 6 more to go, says the referee. That's it. It's all over. Wigan are the World Club Champions.
We're back here at Old Trafford, still trying to battle this little jazz trio behind us. But while it's early morning over there in Australia, as I mentioned to you before, it's about 7:45 here on Wednesday night. But there is a sensational breakfast happening at Canberra, at the Lakeside Hotel in Canberra. There's about 1,000 people have come in to watch this telecast coming back to you. Bill Anderson is there with Peter Chapman. Bill, how is the atmosphere in Canberra?
Well, it's terrific, Ian. Thanks very much. And while you're battling the rock bands there in Old Trafford, we're battling the Raiderettes and upwards of 1,000 people, I believe, here at the Lakeside. Believe me, rugby league, Peter Chapman is alive and well in the national capital.
It certainly is. It just shows you how much support the Canberra Raiders have when more than 1,000 people will get up probably at 4 o'clock this morning to come along to the Lakeside to have breakfast and watch the big game, Bill.
Well, I don't know if they all got up. I think some of them might have come from some of their night spots. But it's going to be a terrific game of rugby league. Peter, I suppose the critical thing is whether Canberra are there for an end-of-season trip or whether it's all systems go and they're full on to winning a rugby league game.
Well, it certainly is. The situation, of course, I was here only a week ago when the Raiders had a presentation night. Now, that was only 7 days, and the Raiders have had to travel all that way to England, and whether they can pick it up to win the game, time will tell.
Okay, Billy and Peter, thank you very much. Don't eat too many fried eggs for breakfast, will you? You can hear the band still playing. The action's coming along very, very shortly. Don't go away. We'll be back with all the action here from this fantastic stadium here at Manchester. I'll be going upstairs for the commentary, but we'll be back in just a minute.
To Old Trafford as we still battle this rock band here, trying to entertain the crowd before the kick-off to the 1989 World Rugby League Challenge. Well, let's take a look at these two teams going into this match tonight. And, of course, the Widnes team, who performed so well right throughout. And from fullback, Alan Tate, who had a marvellous match in the Premiership final here. Andy Courier, surprisingly not in the centres. He is on the wing. Then Jonathan Davis, and it is Davis, believe me. I know it's IES, but the former Welsh Rugby Union captain is lining up against Mal Meninga. Darren Wright is his centre partner. Martin Oppia, the try-scoring freak, is on the wing. Tony Myler at 5'8", the former Balmain player. David Hume at halfback. And the pack, Richard Ayres, Paul Hume, Kurt Sorensen, Joe Grimer, Phil McKenzie, the boy that was born in Wollongong and who will one day play for Great Britain, believe me. And then also in the front row, Derek Pike. And that is all coached by Doug Lawton, the former Great Britain international, who performed so well with so many sides here in Great Britain and had a very short stint with the Canterbury Bankstown Club. Well, let's take a look at the Canberra side, who were really running hot on grand final day just 10 days ago. This is going to be a marvellous game between these two teams, and I know John Money was trying to be a little bit kind maybe, but he really does believe they'll get them out wide.
I think they can get them everywhere if they play well. As I said, I believe it's Canberra's defence. If they've got that intensity that they've shown all through the final series that I've been watching on video here, I don't think Widnes will be able to meet them.
What about the men to watch in this Widnes side? Who should the Australian fans be looking for?
Well, I think a feature of their play, as you've seen from the clips so far, is the exciting tries that they can score through their backs. They break from scrums, their support play is fantastic, and you can take your pick from 6 to 1 about who's going to score the tries, because they can really bolt.
Well, you mentioned the name Andy Courier. Are they a quicker side than this Canberra outfit?
Well, I think straight line running, perhaps they are, but there's a lot more to rugby league than running straight up and down the field.
Well, there was quite a surprise here from the coach, Doug Lawton, when he selected Andy Courier on the wing. For Australian rugby league fans, especially the Balmain Tiger fans, he had a marvellous performance and a marvellous season back home there for the Tigers, and he played that season in the centres. Let's take a look at the big man in action for the Tigers.
I think they'll set up for a drop goal in a minute.
Andy Dannett
If they set for the 1 point, look out for Gary Pearce. Last tackle. He's in the right position. Will he have time? They go blindside. Taken beautifully by Currier. He's got the pace. Here comes Pearce. He won't match it. Fletcher won't match it, or will he? They're going to go the length of the field. Unbelievable. A mistake by Hull, and they've been burned by it.
Courier trying to thread his way through, and he has. They won't catch him. Put the glasses away. Courier is going to score under the post. A superb try for Courier.
Ellison charged down by Elias. He recovers it. Now here's a chance for Balmain.
The reflexes of the cat.
Neil. Straight across the field for Courier. Grant. Courier will score. Oh, Benny Elias set it up with the charge down. Courier had the pace. He leaps into the air. The Tigers might be into their second grand final in 2 years.
Yes, and some marvellous performances there from Andy Courier also for this Widnes club, and maybe he's going to be in some hot form for them tonight. Well, of course, 1989 in rugby league here in England, in the north, of course, is going to be important because it is a tour year by the New Zealand Test team, and they've currently played 2 matches here in England, a win and a loss. Tony Gordon, their coach, I know, a much happier man after a win last night.
Oh, definitely very improved, much improved, but we're looking for something better.
Well, there was a bit of a shock loss last Sunday here against St Helens.
Oh, definitely. We were in a run out of match conditions. A lot of our players hadn't played for 6 weeks, and up 26-15 and losing by that 1 point was a real shock to the system.
A tough tour when the Australians were there this year in New Zealand, Tony?
Oh, very tough tour, yes.
You're not saying too much about that Australian tour.
No, they beat us fair and square. They played the league. We made the mistake, so we hope to improve on it in this tour.
Is there any injury concerns with the New Zealand side?
Oh, we have quite a few injuries at the moment.
Mainly with who?
Oh, we've got Tony Kemp, who's had a hamstring injury since he's been with us. A couple of our younger players that are carrying injuries, and we'll be fitness testing a couple of them because we can't afford to carry them for the rest of the tour, not with the matches that are coming up.
Well, of course, the international scene, though, is getting a lot closer together, Tony, with all the countries.
I'd say that, but Australia is still 2 or 3 steps ahead of everybody else.
Well, good luck with the Test series here. All right. Tony Gordon, the New Zealand coach, will take you now back to Ian Maurice as the 2 teams are about to hit this Old Trafford pitch.
Good on you, Graham. Yes, a fabulous atmosphere as the crowd, which has really come in the last quarter hour or so in Canberra, make their way onto this famous ground, led by Mal Meninga. Tremendous atmosphere, and this crowd here, obviously English supporters giving this Canberra side a tremendous ovation, and that man Mal Meninga, who played with St Helens, was introduced to the St Helens crowd the other day, and what an ovation they gave him. He's really treated with great respect here, as is John Ferguson. There's the famous ground, the Old Trafford, here in Manchester, home of the Red Devils, the Manchester United soccer side. But tonight, playing host to rugby league, and what a game this is going to be. This Canberra side really had a terrific session. We were with them yesterday at Wigan, at Central Park, when they went through their paces, and they were very, very impressive, looking very sharp. And I know they obviously will be suffering some kind of letdown from the grand final, but they've built themselves up again tremendously. They really are keen to take out this trophy tonight to cap off what has been a fantastic season for the Raiders. Mal Meninga carrying on the instructions from coach Tim Sheens. We await the arrival of the Widnes side. And the crowd is waving to maybe some relations back in Australia. And that crowd really coming to life now as the Widnes side is introduced. And Kurt Sorensen leads out the Widnes side to a tremendous ovation at Old Trafford. Thunderous applause and cheers for the Widnes side. The flags are out. And this has all the makings of a tremendous encounter. Widnes haven't started off this season where they left off. They've been a little slack, but the conditions tonight is going to bring out the best in them. The more that they've been reading about how strong Canberra is, the more intense their preparation has become. Stretching, last minute stretching by some of the players in the Widnes side. Paul Hume was that second row you saw as the Canberra boys continue to limber up.
They do look very, very edgy, and Tim Sheen's now sitting standing with his back to us. He's very, very determined. They put in a fine training session here yesterday in England. Martin Offia, that try-scoring freak that we talked about. 100 tries in just 2 seasons. Andy Courier, the man in that controversial selection out on the wing.
They really have a tremendous amount of speed in this Widnes side, don't they?
And they do, especially out wide, as I said. Courier and Offia, if they can get clear, then look out.
And the fullback Tate's got a lot of speed. The big test for Courier is he's up against that man again, Mal Meninga. They talked about the grand final encounter. Meninga certainly won that.
The crowd already starting to sing here. The referee for this World Club Challenge, Mr. Francis Desplat from France. And Canberra might have an advantage there. That Gary Belcher and Gary Coyne, I believe. If you look again at Mal Meninga, fairly fluent in French, so there might be a few discussions between the referee and Mr. Belcher and Mr. Coyne.
They might need it. Incidentally, this Canberra side lost their jumpers somewhere between London and Manchester. And Johnny Ferguson, another of the heroes, welcome back to the north of England. They've done very well to get the jumpers ready. They made a new set for them, put the sponsor's name McFadden on them as well.
We're about to get underway for this World Challenge. Widnes to kick off. Canberra first touch of the ball. Goes between the legs of Belcher and dead in goal. Out it'll come for the line dropout. So right from the start, it won't be Canberra now to receive the ball. Belcher had that ball dribbled through his feet. And now the line dropout and Widnes to come back. Now Ricky Stewart about to drop out. Gets it out on the fly to halfway. Paul Hume straight into the defence, and crunching defence from Canberra. Hi, what a hit from Lance. He produced that in the grand final in Australia against Balmain, and he started the same way tonight. Myler showing the ball. Taken low, not finished off. Now Jackson has it. So that pressure in defence tells its own story. Lance hits the advantage line very quickly. Wrapped up by Sorensen. Now Lazarus. Widnes up very quickly. Stewart for O'Sullivan. Meninga. Belches into the back line and an overlap. Laurie Bailey back for Meninga inside the quarter. Early trouble for Widnes. Meninga looking for the quick play of the ball. Stewart, long pass out for Lazarus standing wide in the backs. Quick hands for Ferguson. He dashes down the touchline. They put him over it, so the scrum will go down. Dougie Lawton, the Widnes coach, knows now that Canberra are stretching them out wide right from the start. Johnny Ferguson, who had a stint here in England with Wigan, and he has a Challenge Cup final medal from Wembley Stadium to boot. Grimmer. Back that's Ayres. Lance again. Producing some solid hits and really applying the pressure as Sorensen takes this ball out. Brian Smith, they really are starting to produce some errors from Widnes because of their defence. Problems down their sideline for Brian Smith will come to him shortly. Belcher
his way through. Out for Ferguson. The game opening right up. Across the paddock goes Ferguson. And finally put to ground by Derek Pike. Lazarus. A very confident-looking Canberra unit. Jackson. Right up the middle. They're finding plenty of holes. The signs might be ominous. Stewart looking for his back line. O'Sullivan shows the ball inside. Coyne down a short blindside for Bradley Clyde. Just 10 metres away on the last tackle. Widnes have been having to hold them out. It comes for Stewart. Towering bomb going to fall around the goal mouth. Tate, Offie is there. Plenty of shoulders. And a penalty against Canberra for knocking them over. Just a metre out now. Sorensen slows down players. They'll look for touch. Here's the kick again. And you'll notice that there is some shouldering here on Martin Offia from Meninga. The penalty against the Canberra skipper.
Well, if Widnes had any doubts about this Canberra side's ability to tackle, gee, they certainly would have those doubts erased out. Tremendous hits, particularly from Lance, and that led to mistakes in the Canberra side with the football, putting Widnes under plenty of pressure as well. But now the Widnes side, just outside their own quarter, attempting to get things together again as Sorensen avoided one tackle, but is pulled down by Bradley Clyde just about on his own quarter. Now Ayres, the lock forward. This takes place just outside the quarter now. McKenzie dummy half. He's the man kicking. Sends Gary Belcher down to his own quarter line. Belcher's got to the football. And straight across field, being chased by McKenzie, who pulls him down pretty well. Good chasing from the hooker. Now here's Stewart with a long ball out for Mal Meninga. And Big Mal just charges straight into the defence. 32 metres out from the Canberra line. Can't get off, sir. Too bad. You've got the penalty's been given against him. So the Raiders get the opportunity to take play upfield. It's Stewart looking for touch. Not one of Ricky Stewart's greatest ever kicks. Finds touch about 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Walters comes up for the restart. Away goes Lazarus, straight into the Widnes forwards. Gets to the halfway mark, held by Sorensen with some support. Right on the halfway mark now, Coyne takes it up. And the penalty again goes to Canberra as Widnes too eager in defence up inside the 5 metres. Monsieur Desplat awarding the penalty to the Raiders. So Stewart again looking for touch. That's a better looking kick from him and finds it right on the Widnes quarter, so more pressure now for the locals. And they've lost the football. He's kicked it into the crowd. Now we wait for a second football to appear. The ball boy has it way downfield. Here it comes now on the far side of the field. The ball boy's been chasing one into the crowd. Finally got it. We're back underway on the Widnes quarter as the Raiders now get set to launch another raid at this Widnes side. Here's Coyne, a dummy, and got to within 8 metres, 5 metres of the line. Good strong run from Gary Coyne. Trouble now for Widnes as the Raiders spin it, but O'Sullivan tends to pass back inside for Lance. Lance is pulled down only 8 metres short of the line. Walters sets himself for a long ball, not a great one. Bounces for O'Sullivan, did well to pick it up. He's linked up again with Walters. Walters going strongly straight ahead. The hooker looks for support. Pulled down now 5 metres short of the line. The Raiders right on the charge. Laurie Daly, a switch off his right foot. Then pops a basketball pass for Coyne. It's been knocked down by a Widnes player and picked up. But there'll be a knock-on rule by the referee. Referee Desplat right on the spot. No problems. Ruling the knock-on. And Timmy Sheens breathed something of a sigh of relief as that pass was knocked down. You can see the hand going out, quite clearly locking it down. Now O'Sullivan links up with Belcher. Belcher, beautiful pass on for Daly. Daly with room to move. Has got it away for Matthew Wood. He's pulled down 10 metres short of the line. Quick play the ball needed. He got it. Blindside is Bradley Clyde. Runs straight ahead. Still going. Caught by the ankles. 6 metres short of the line. Dean Lance got it back for Lazarus. Very close to the line now, the Raiders. Only 3 metres out. Then they're going to spin it. O'Sullivan, the long ball out for Gary Belcher. He's got Ferguson outside of him, but he switched the play back inside for Daly. Daly looks for support. Big Malmaninga charges and scores the first try of the match. The skipper scores. Numbers and strength. And the try going to Canberra. It had to come. Widnes has been under enormous pressure. Malmaninga returning to the north of England and scoring the first try. Boy, they've been really applying some pressure on this Widnes side. And Big Mal just continuing to urge these players on. And well, there you can see just numbers and sheer strength. There it is, Big Mal, just too big and too strong, planting the ball down. So the Raiders drawing first blood. Matthew Wood with the conversion attempt. Scored just 10 metres in from touch. And Wood hits this one particularly well. That's a great kick for Matthew Wood, right between the posts. So the Canberra Raiders, the Australian champions, go to a 6-0 lead over the Widnes side. And Brian Smith, they've certainly been under enormous pressure, Widnes.
Yeah, they just don't seem to be able to cope with the pace that Canberra are moving at the moment. And I feel that the slide sort of defence that they use is already coming unstuck.
All right, so Widnes now back to halfway for the restart. Jonathan Davis descended down. Canberra enjoying a marvellous share of possession. Belcher, they're out to spin this ball. Daly, outside Davis, he's got Ferguson. He ran out of territory near the touchline. Jackson, all revved up this Canberra side. Steve Walters screaming for a quick play of the ball. Glenn Lazarus. So already in just the 3 tackles, they're back to halfway. Quite a struggle in this play of the ball. Ricky Stewart, O'Sullivan, Clyde. Basketball pass out for Meninga. With one hand, he just held off the defence. Wood's got support. Great try. Chris O'Sullivan will score right under the black dot. Magical try from Canberra. Their back line ran hot in Sydney, Australia, right throughout 89. They're doing it here in England. Great performance by Canberra. A great try to O'Sullivan. And in this try, Mal Meninga will be the key man. O'Sullivan might have scored it, but Meninga coming in now to congratulate O'Sullivan. He managed to just hold the defence off with one hand and then shovel out the pass. And this crowd that have been used to Widnes being the champions here in England, a little stunned by this explosive start by the Canberra Raiders. They had all the ball, and here's try number 2. Long passes out, picked up well by O'Sullivan. Clyde joined in. The basketball pass to Meninga. Now watch him just take on his centre 3/4. The opponents hold them off with one hand. Out it went to Wood. Great support play from O'Sullivan. Martin Offia, probably the quickest man on the field. He had no chance. They were gone, and O'Sullivan was headed right underneath the black dot here at Old Trafford. So Matthew Wood from right in front now with his second attempt. Superb start for Canberra. Just going to add the extra 2 points. He does just that. And the Raiders now race away to a 12-0 lead over this Widnes side.
You can see here how Canberra are each of their opponents. Widnes use this sliding defence where they try to push the attack on the outside, but Matthew Wood's too good for that. Their hands are too good, the inside support's too good, and I think Canberra are just too good as well.
There's O'Sullivan, still on his way. Enjoying every moment as he just planted that underneath the black dot. This crowd roaring now their support for Widnes to try and hit back strongly. Lazarus with another big charge right up the middle. Walters out of dummy half. Maybe a chance now for Widnes, who, as I said, have not enjoyed much of the share of possession. Ayres, Sorensen through his hands. Tate had to go back for it. Now what can Widnes come up with the ball? Derek Pike. The crowd singing for Widnes. Showing the ball back. Cummings falls for Courier. He lost it. He didn't really know where the ball was. The hole was there for him. So as soon as they get the football, they've given it up straight away. Belcher with the dummy. Stepping brilliantly. One side very tentative, the other, the green machine from Canberra, supremely confident. Lance. Full of running, Canberra. Both benches look on anxiously. Canberra now, Jimmy Sheen's not showing much emotion, even though they lead 12 points to 0. The kick down for Tate. A man with a big reputation, the Scottish Rugby Union international, who turned to Widnes last year. He was the man of the match in the premiership final victory here against Hull. Penalty comes for Widnes, and they'll have one more opportunity to take the pressure off. And Lawton has got plenty of problems, Andrews.
He certainly has. Yeah, Dougie Lawton looking on anxiously. And his side really have had, well, they haven't been in the football game at all, have they? That's into the crowd again. To remind you, these pictures tonight coming to you from the BBC. Here at Old Trafford. And they seem to take an eternity to get the football back once it goes into the crowd. Now, Rimmer runs into some solid defence from the Raiders. Here's Ayres. Sorensen ends up with it and runs into trouble. Coyne was there to take him, so was Walters. Myler. The pass has been picked up by Meninga, and he's got a pass beautifully away to Daly, to at least Steve Jackson it was, who was there in support as the Raiders spin it wide for O'Sullivan. Now Daly. Daly again getting on the outside of his man, but this time he's lost the football. Courier picks it up. Laurie Daly not happy with himself for losing the football, but it's given the opportunity for Widnes now to do something. The crowd's waiting for them to do something. There's Pike. He's pulled down. About 15 short of the halfway mark. Out for Grimmer. Then Ayres. The Canberra defence is too strong. Hume with his kick ahead. And out on the full. So the Widnes boys not having much luck at all. David Hume just a bit too big with the kick. Scrum will go down 32 metres out from the Widnes line, with the Canberra side leading by 12 points to 0. And the referee wants it again. Now he's penalised him. An incorrect scrum feed. Thought he was giving him the opportunity to put it in once more, but he decided to penalise him instead. As Davis finds touch 10 metres inside the Canberra half. Jonathan Davis, Rugby Union international. Now, can the Widnes side settle down and put some points on the board? 32 metres out from the Raiders line. Plenty of dummying. Ayres finally come up with it, immediately has given it to Matthew Wood, who's gone straight upfield. Now he's looking for support. There it comes. The support is there in the shape of Laurie Daly. Daly looks inside. The pass is back for Bradley Clyde. More support in the shape of Belcher. And how quickly this Canberra side can turn defence into attack. Inside the quarter, plenty of pressure again for Widnes as Daly gets a quick pass away to Matthew Wood. Slips it back for Jackson. He's pulled down 8 metres short. There's going to be a flag called out for tripping.
Tony Myler is the man that Francis Desplat has got for a trip on Jackson. He tried to straighten up.
Just a caution on the run.
Well, it's interesting in the English competition, tripping in fact is an instant dismissal here in the game. On this occasion, Tony Myler survives.
All we got was an instant penalty. So Meninga bringing the football back to Matthew Wood, who's favouring a leg a little bit. Causing some problems. Well, here it is, the original interception taken by Matthew Wood. And he got over the halfway mark, then came back inside looking for support.
This is brilliant football from Canberra. They are running hot, and what they're doing so well is that they're just so keen to be where the football is. They have so many players in support. Widnes haven't enjoyed much of the share of possession, as I keep saying, but they're just lacking in confidence. One side really does look confident. The other, maybe not that belief that they can win this football game at this stage.
Yeah, that confidence producing all the flair that we've seen from Canberra. Terrific football to watch. Matthew Wood has the penalty place right on the quarter line. He's about 18 metres in from touch. Pushes this one out to the right though. Can't add any extra points. So it remains at 12 points to 0 in favour of the Raiders.
So Wood just back into position. They will get the football back. Jonathan Davis, the dropout. Down for Meninga. Terrifying sight to try and stop this big man. 17.5 stone out in the 3/4. Lance to do some heavy work up the middle. Stewart, Lazarus. Busting them on the fringe of the ruck. Unloads for Clyde. In turn for Stewart. The long ball out for Ferguson. Infield he goes, stepping the gap is there. Johnny Ferguson sets his sights on the try line, brought down by Tate. Desperate defence from Tate. Steve Walters. Ferguson was in the road as he tried to pass it back for Lazarus. Momentarily things come unstuck. Belcher. Clyde right through. Great ball out for Daly. It's been called forward. Laurie Daly will come back about 6 or 7 metres out from the line. The last pass ruled forward. The scrum will go down. Here it is again as Clyde beautifully put through the gap by Belcher. And that pass very close to line ball but ruled forward. Hume with the football. Brian Smith, Widnes are just hanging on and hanging on.
They sure are, Graham. The pace of the game is just too much for them. The Canberra players are far too strong, and at this stage Widnes are going to really have to rely on something out of the ordinary to break the ice. If they can get some points on the board, they might just start to flourish a little.
They certainly are looking for it before half-time. Pike, a much stronger run. The crowd calling for more of that from this Widnes side. Myler. Brought down by Clyde right on his own quarter line. Back for Davis. Gets his kick in nicely behind Ferguson. And the crowd will come alive here too with this man Johnny Ferguson. He's got Belcher in support. He uses him now, but there's plenty of defence up there. And with a few occasions so far in this first half, they've been down near the quarter line of Canberra. Daly, right on the fringe, just ankle tap. He was nearly clear. Stewart for Lazarus. He'll play it just inside Widnes territory. Stewart back on the infield for Lance.
He was looking for Steve Jackson, but he had overrun him. O'Sullivan, the little step. He's away and got support in Belcher. He ran away from him. Back for Daly. Daly slips. Belcher was unmarked on the inside, but I don't think he heard the call. Now Daly has lost it, and Widnes come up with it. Sorensen. Someone has to get something started for this Widnes side. Ayres put down very quickly by Jackson. Grimmer. Crunched by Glenn Lazarus. Myler. Struggling to get out of their 22. Pike. Good ball away for Hume. On the last tackle against Widnes. McKenzie. The ball gets shoveled back with the kick. The ball between Belcher and Ferguson. Belcher with a bit of an open paddock if he could run away from Myler. He decided to go the other way. He links up beautifully with Ferguson. This is great football from Canberra. Poor defence from Widnes. Still going Ferguson. Incredible run from the veteran wing three-quarter, and the big crowd here show their support. O'Sullivan looking for their third try, Canberra. Steve Walters quickly away for Lance. Again, Walters from dummy half. 5 metres away from the Widnes try line. Stewart. Back on the inside for Daly. Just a metre away. Last tackle now. Walters quickly for Stewart. Long pass out for Belcher. Good defence from Courier. He lost it back, and Clyde has finally brought down. It'll be a turnover. The best piece of defence that Widnes have produced.
And the first turnover of the match. Certainly Laurie Daly wouldn't be too happy with his handling. The Widnes side has got the penalty as Canberra's offside. And straight ahead they come with Myler. Caught the Canberra side napping. They want to quick play the ball. Now they're playing with a bit more confidence now as Ayres on the halfway mark. Turns the ball back inside for Hume. Got out of one. Still able to offload. Back to Tate, the fullback. The crowd comes alive as Widnes get into some good attacking position now. Nice flick pass from Davis to Courier. Courier inside the quarter. Finally caught by Ferguson and Daly. Across for Sorensen. A little shuffle from Grimmer. He's pulled down just on the quarter line. Now back for Pig. He's got it away to Hume. Hume's passed it away. A beautiful try and a great pass. Paul Hume in to score. That's the best stuff that we've seen from Widnes, and it's produced a try for the second row forward. Paul Hume. And the crowd suddenly come alive. And Doug Lawton lights up another one.
Well, that's what I was talking about, Ian. Maybe that might just give them that little bit of belief now that they can climb back into the game. It looked like Canberra by how much, but Hume has got on the end of that pass. They have started to show something because they got a share of the ball. And this is how it all unfolded.
It's a touch of Canberra in the way they scored this try, because they wanted to quick play the ball a couple of rucks earlier, and finally they got one, and then quick hands from the halfback Hume, and away it goes. And Paul Hume running off his brother's pass in to score the try that may just get Widnes back into this football game. Looks like a ballet, doesn't it? The Old Trafford crowd really coming alive now. This is scored about 9 metres in from touch. And Jonathan Davis will attempt the conversion. He's a very good goal kicker, this fellow. The crowd has something to smile about. Davis's conversion attempt in the air. The crowd likes it, but the touch judges don't. Flagged away, so he can't add the extras. But Canberra now lead this Widnes side by 12 points to 4.
This is the first time they really have got a good share of possession. And they were caught napping on the fringe of the ruck themselves, Canberra. This is how they've been busting Widnes. The Hume brothers put it together. Good passing, the way they kept that ball alive, and they gave their supporters something to cheer about at long last.
Maninga restarts after some words of advice to his teammates. Ayres, the lock forward, has been pretty heavily involved in this game. He's caught around, well, I thought it was around the chest, but the referee thought otherwise. And Ricky Stewart has been called out. There's plenty of talking from the Widnes players urging the referee to do something about it. So they get the penalty. Just 10 metres out from their own line. Davis will look to touch. The singing starts from the Widnes fans here at Old Trafford. Now let's see if they can do some more fancy stuff. See if their confidence has been built up from that try. They're 10 metres short of the halfway mark. Sorensen ends up with it. Anyone there for it? Yes, Davis was there, but the defence got to him very, very smartly. He'll play at 32 out from the Widnes line. Keeping it alive, back to Davis again. Daly's got him. He's lost the football and over the touchline. So the mistake coming from Jonathan Davis, as Daly got him in a pretty solid tackle.
And Jonathan Davis, of course, being swamped by the defenders on this occasion. He managed to stay in touch, but the ball just rolled free right at the last minute and just on the touchline. Now a knock-on from Canberra. A little bit of a... I thought Paul Hume was going to come in late there on Johnny Ferguson. But Brian Smith, something at long last to make this Widnes side believe in themselves.
Yeah, I think Canberra have just got a little bit casual in the last few minutes, fallen off a few tackles, and certainly when Widnes can string passes together, they're going to stretch the very best of defences.
The fourth team ever to defend their championship title successfully, Widnes. The first team ever to do the double 2 years in a row here in England. Tate. Now Widnes start to grow. Myler a dummy half. Showing dummies on the inside. Finally he unloads and it sits up there for Grimmer. Back for the try scorer, Paul Hume. Man that can play just about any position in this Widnes side. Grimmer. Canberra are looking down the barrel at losing that good solid lead. McKenzie. David Hume. That pass to Offia was forward. Allowed to play on. Back for Phil McKenzie. And Canberra are now tested once more in defence. Offia. Jinks turns. Tries to get away from Lazarus, but he couldn't. Last tackle. Up goes the bomb. About 10 metres out. Belcher. Knocked back for Widnes. Here's the chance now. Tate throws it back. There's Canberra in possession. But this is now turning into a real World Club challenge. The penalty against Widnes from inside the 5. And that bench from Widnes will be much happier with the situation. Maybe a little unlucky there not to put another try on the board. Mr. Desplat waits for Stewart to find touch. And Stewart does that successfully at half-time. We'll be crossing back to Canberra to talk to Mrs. Dean Lance. Debbie, about this Canberra side and their performance here in the first half and what a year it's been for them. Now Jackson. Lazarus. Just outside the quarter. Steve Walters. Out of tackles. The ball away beautifully for Belcher. Coyne couldn't handle it. Widnes will come up with it. Not finishing off a great opportunity on that occasion. Now Widnes moved the ball quickly. Offia, he's come in looking for the football. Away, beautifully picked up by Davis. David Hume. Good, strong run. Their last tackle. They just managed to get the kick in. Ferguson going back for it. Bouncing towards touch. Magnificently. He can't keep it infield. He put a foot on the line. Ferguson looks over his shoulder. A great kick from Marler. Now, the chant coming up. Or was it Tate that got the kick in? The scrum will go down on the quarter line for Johnny Ferguson. Trying to tiptoe right down the touch line. And when he touched that football, his foot was on the line. Good decision from the touch judge. As Widnes now bring it away through Darren Wright. Back for Ayres. Disputing possession here in the play of the ball. It'll be Widnes to play it. Mackenzie had no one to go to. David Hume stands for a long time, and then Myler finally picks him up. Building their momentum again, Widnes. Grimmer. Beautiful ball for Mackenzie. Offie has got a try. He'll love this. But what a ball from Grimmer to Mackenzie. That is confidence when you can just call your partner round. He drew 2 and 3 defenders. There was hardly a gap there, and he sent Mackenzie on his way. The Australian who, now because of his residential status here in Great Britain, has a chance to represent England against Australia in 90. Offia gets the try, and after he had a successful season with Eastern Suburbs this year, 11 tries in 13 matches, he's put them way back in to this World Club Challenge. Great performance here. Mackenzie on the run around with Grimmer. And look at this little short ball. Beautiful the way he popped it up for Mackenzie. And Offia, as he nearly always is, was there on the spot to finish it off. Marvellous play from Widnes.
Here we see again Widnes stringing passes together, and they can play football with the ball. You see Pike showing the ball and finding Mackenzie, and if you're going to finish like Afire does.
Now the conversion attempt from right out wide. Davis gets it high in the air. The crowd likes it again, and so do the touch judges. What a magnificent kick. Oh, that's a marvellous conversion from Jonathan Davis. Right on the touch line. He's levelled the scores. That is a magnificent effort. So the Raiders and Widnes all locked up at 12 all. We'll have another look at that try, because this is the one that really got back the Widnes side into this football game. That beautiful short ball. Mackenzie was away, and Offia, as always, waiting his opportunity. If you can run and catch in this game of rugby league, you'll score tries. And Offia certainly scores plenty of those. So just when it looked as if Canberra was going to be racing away with this championship, they've got a football game all tied up. Sorensen beat the first tackle. Got a pass away to Marler. He's away. Daly's chasing him. The kick ahead sends Belcher around. Curry is chasing the football. Belcher's there first and makes the ball dead. The Widnes have really come alive here at Old Trafford. Being urged on by this huge crowd. The Raiders back with a goal line dropout. That move started with Kurt Sorensen. The goal line dropout from Ricky Stewart. Back to halfway on the full. Myler again. Caught by Daly. 12-10 the score. I think I might have called it 12 all before. So the Raiders still in the lead. And Widnes playing with tremendous confidence. Hume. Ayres. Away goes Grimmer again. Just about on the quarter line, so more pressure for the Raiders. As McKenzie looked for a one-pointer, but underneath the post it went. So no addition to that score, with the Raiders clinging to a 2-point lead, 12-10. Now Jackson. And again he goes and gets the penalty. And that was against Pike. I don't know if Kurt Sorens can speak French or not. Or maybe Mr. Desplat knows enough English to satisfy him. So just a few metres short of halfway now, the Raiders. With Walters and the restart. Showing the ball several ways. And finally, Bradley Clyde, who comes away with it. He's beaten 2 defenders already. Pulled down 10 metres inside Widnes territory. Stewart, now O'Sullivan. Meninga, found Belcher. Now to Matthew Wood, who's come off from the far side of the field to make the extra man. Caught by Courier. Dean Lance. Better defence from Widnes that time. Ayres it was coming in. Stewart to Coyne. Can't get his arms free to offload. Stewart, now O'Sullivan. The kick and chase from O'Sullivan, but it's taken magnificently by Tate. The ball bounced up beautifully for him. Brings the play back towards the halfway mark. Meninga gets up very gingerly after trying to make the tackle. Off here. Meninga still limping. Some solid defence. As the half-time hooter sounds, referee Desplat blows half-time and Meninga looks to be in a bit of trouble as the Raiders and Widnes leave the field at half-time. The Raiders leading by 12-10. And while we get our breath and the players get their breath, we'll take a break and be back with some more action from Old Trafford. Don't go away.
Australia, welcome back to Old Trafford. The half-time scoreline here in the World Rugby League Challenge. 12-10 in favour of Canberra after they were leading at one stage, 12 points to nil. And Brian Smith, they seemed at one stage as though it was going to be Canberra, but by how far?
Exactly. I was calling them too strong and too fast. I felt that Canberra seemed to relax, perhaps a little jet lag. Maybe the mountain they've climbed has been too much, but they certainly haven't been the same team in the last 20 minutes.
But I don't want to take it away from this Widnes side. They have played some great football in the last 10 or 15 minutes.
They sure can. They can play football. They've got skillful players, lots of positions. And above all, they've got that finishing power. A break is a try.
What have Canberra got to do in the first 5 or 10 of the second half?
Well, I still think it comes back to that defence. When they came up with that strong, very enthusiastic, vigorous defence, Widnes didn't want to know. They couldn't cope with that pressure. They've got to reproduce that.
Well, that's what we're going to look forward to, and I guess all the Canberra supporters back home are going to be looking forward to that. Billy Anderson, how did you see that first half back there in Canberra?
Well, Graham, it was a game that went with possession, really, wasn't it? In the first 20 minutes, all of the possession went to Canberra, and I thought they made very good use of it. If you noted, their forwards were making great use of the advantage line, hitting the ball very flat, and as you all know, the Canberra backs, well, they capitalised on that momentum. By contrast, the Widnes forwards were taking the ball well back from the advantage line. Their backs weren't getting the opportunity to work on it. But as they got the ball, or a little bit more possession in that final 20 minutes, they showed that if they're allowed to play their brand of football, and Canberra did let them play their brand of football, that they're a very competitive team. I thought it was home and hosed. I thought it's going to be all Canberra, but Widnes have fought their way back. A couple of decisions went their way, and as you can see, the Canberra supporters behind me, they're starting to get into the spirit of things too, Peter.
Yes, well, they certainly are. And if I can come in on the comment, Graham, that to me as though it did go with possession the first half, but I did feel as though that the Canberra defence fell off a little bit in the last 20 minutes to allow Widnes to get back into the game, Bill.
Yes, it did, but you know, it's a game that Canberra, I think, will go on and win because they've got the intensity there. It was I did believe that there were some refereeing decisions towards the end of that first half that somewhat favoured the Widnes side, but that's always going to happen. Canberra are going to have to live with that. They've got the class players there. They've got to get the ball. They've got to hang on to it. I think that the class will tell in the end.
Well, I agree with you. Well, let's see what happens in the next 40 minutes. And Graham, as we said before, we've got over 1,000 people here, including amongst the crowd. We have Debbie Lance, Dean Lance's wife. Debbie, did you believe?
Well, Billy, I just wanted to ask you, I'm having some problems there, Billy, hearing you. Of course, I know all the supporters down there are very nervous, I guess, down there at half-time. But again, I'll just repeat the scoreline, 12 points to 10 in Canberra. Doing it very, very strongly early, but now struggling. Billy, I know you must have some nervous fans with you there, especially the wife of Dean Lance, Debbie.
Yes, well, Debbie is with us. She's with Peter Chapman at the moment, Graham, and I think she had a terrific first 20 minutes, but the nails are a bit shorter after the last 20.
I'll put it to her and see how she feels now. How do you feel at the moment? Debbie, you confident?
I think so. I'm not sure. A bit worried at the moment, actually.
Right, well, your husband's over there playing football. Where are the kids? Can I ask you at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Up with my parents in Newcastle.
All right. Did you believe you'd be getting up at this time of the morning to watch your husband play football?
No, I didn't realise the importance of the game until tonight, actually.
Okay. All right, then. Thanks very much, Debbie. That's just one of the wives we have here, Graham. There's a few more too, and a lot of Raiders supporters.
All right, okay, Billy Anderson, thank you from down there in Canberra. Half-time here at Old Trafford in the World Rugby League Challenge. We'll take a break too at 12:10 in favour of Canberra.
And welcome back, Australia, to Old Trafford here in Manchester. While the crowd here enjoys the half-time break, I hope you're enjoying your rice bubbles and toast at breakfast time. Been amazed by the speed of this Widnes side, and you know, it's more amazing is the fact that they come from this sleepy little industrial town that is most unlikely to produce a football team. There's not a lot there in Widnes. As I say, it's an industrial town, just the buses that roll through the streets. The magnificent bridge, which looks a bit like the harbour bridge, as the people eat their bangers and mash and chips. But and the dogs are there, of course, but it's certainly not a town that you would expect to produce a marvellous football team. But they certainly have done that. Widnes side, champion side here, coming from this area. This is Widnes. And that's the Widnes football ground for you. Norton Park, home of the Widnes side. Back here at Old Trafford. The crowd waiting for this second half, and of course, as we've told you, this is the home of the Red Devils, Manchester United, and you probably saw the people on the pitch just making sure that the surface is protected. And they're digging up the divots to ensure that when the Red Devils play here again next time, that ball is very true when it rolls along the ground.
Yeah, one of the interesting stories here in Manchester that's broken just this afternoon, of course, Ian, is that Manchester United, the famous soccer team, are currently up for sale.
Sale again. They're having a very disappointing season once again.
Just some of the New Zealand tour party there that were just in shot too. Sam Stewart, of course, the skipper of the Newcastle Knights. And the Canberra Raiders, maybe now with their minds well and truly back on the job. I just wonder if there's going to be a change here. Meninga was limping before half-time. Belcher is leading the Canberra Raiders back onto the field. So if Meninga's not back out there, all of a sudden the advantage starting to swing back towards this Widnes side. I can't see him in that lineup. So Meninga off the field.
Looks like Peter Martin may be out there.
Paul Martin,
I should say,
is come on as the substitute. And Sorensen jogging down the tunnel here at Old Trafford. Widnes, who finished full of running just prior to half-time, and listen to the reception they receive from a crowd that has exceeded 30,000 already. Capacity here has been brought down at Old Trafford to some 48,000 because of fire restrictions. And Brian Smith, you have a report on Mal Meninga.
Yeah, from the Canberra bench. it's not bad news apparently, but Mal's knee is not sufficient quality for him to go back again. Took a bang when he missed the tackle over on that last tackle before half-time.
So Tim Sheens maybe with plenty of words of wisdom here, looking a little bit glum as they led 12-0 at one stage. 12-10 as we kick off into this second half of the 1989 World Rugby League Challenge. The referee just waiting to check with the Widnes skipper. He's trying to find Kurt Sorensen. He does just that. And Matthew Wood gets us underway. Across the long pass for Richard Ayres. Taken low by Bradley Clyde. Courier from dummy half. He was wrapped up by Clyde, who was in an offside position.
Martin playing on the wing, Wood into the centre.
So, Widnes now. Clearing right down to Belcher. Straight to him, not a problem. Steps inside Myler. Clutches at his face. Still down injured there behind the tackle. O'Sullivan. Coyne. Back for Clyde right up the middle. Big strong run still going. Beautiful pass out for Steve Walters. Ducks under a swinging arm from Sorensen. He couldn't unload. Canberra trying to start the second just the way they did the first. O'Sullivan. Dummies. Ducks under a tackle. Belcher swivels out of dummy half. Back it comes for Jackson. Steve Walters. Walters is clear. He's got support from Martin. Wrapped up very quickly by Offia. Last tackle. Stewart. Little kick into the end goal. Tried to grab it himself. He sends it dead. It'll be back to the quarter line. So the substitute on the sideline for Widnes, Brian.
Barry Dowd warming up. Tony Myler's got a very nasty head gash.
Myler just in the foreground, collapsing there in front of his own bench. Concern for him. Barry Dowd in 14 takes the field. So important substitutions for both teams as Myler has that wound clean. He's on his way into the dressing room for some stitches. Quick hands from Widnes. This match really poised now. Sorensen stepping right through. Good run from the Widnes skipper. David Hume. Ayres. Courier. Offside. The Canberra markers not facing square in the play of the ball. Bradley Clyde was one of them. Plenty of chat in this Canberra side. You know they have to pick up their form. Incredible the way this game has turned. Davis finds touch just short of the quarter. The Roar sets itself up again. Lawton nervously on the sidelines. Inside the 22 they go. McKenzie at dummy half. Sorensen slips as he comes to the defence. Setting themselves now, Widnes. Run around from McKenzie. Decoy runner for David Hume to go through on the blind. Richard Ayres is there. Good defence from Belcher. Now Canberra in trouble once again. Paul Hume changes direction. He's had a strong game in the second row for Widnes. McKenzie across the paddock for Grimmer. Beautiful ball for Tate. Not completely tackled. Now he is. 2 metres away. Now Courier gets the ball out.
Jonathan Davis was hit high. Somebody could be sent off. A swinging tackle from Canberra. Laurie Daly was the defender, I think. Is it Daly? Being called out by Francis Desplat. This would look to be a dangerous tackle. The referee is calling him well aside. 10 minutes in the sin bin. The disappointment shows for Daly. They looked as though they were about to score, Widnes. It's going to be a long walk back. They, in fact, has been awarded the try. I thought the touch judge at one stage had put his flag up. Now, Mr. Desplat has overruled the touch judge. A controversial decision here. The crowd hooting Daly as Davis goes back for the kick. So Daly, now the long walk back up the tunnel. Meninga's off the field, and so will Laurie Daly. Now here it is again. Daly was the last line of defence. Davis steps in field. Definitely a high tackle. In fact, he did score the try. The touch judge was putting his flag up to come in to report Daly. So the referee hasn't overruled him. The try for Widnes. And the English champions have hit the front for the first time. From way out on touch, the try scorer to convert. Hits it sweetly, coming round, not enough. But they are in the lead and are playing well, Widnes. 14 points to 12.
Well, there may have been some justice here for Widnes in one way or another. I thought the tackle saved a try, but it's cost him 10 minutes in the sin bin, and that may stretch Canberra even more now. But in the end, I thought it was worthy of a try.
So the Raiders in a bit of trouble. Meninga didn't come back for the second half. Daly now 10 minutes in the bin, and they're behind on the scoreboard as well. There's Meninga, that knee injury, not able to get him back on the field. It's all iced up, as you can see. So Widnes playing with tremendous confidence. Oh, look at the confidence showing now as Wright links up with Offia, and the England's going to score. Offia, they won't get near him. And away he goes, his little dance for the crowd. The Widnes bench comes alive, and as quick as a flash, Widnes are in again to score. The smiles tell the story. Martin Offia, the initial break coming from Darren Wright. But this man cannot be given any room to move at all. Here it comes. Watch Darren Wright, number 4 for Widnes. He's the one who started it all. Off this pass there, the pass was a great one. And Wright was away. Off here getting himself into a perfect position. The pass was okay, and that was it. Shut the gates. Off here in the corner. Belcher couldn't make any impression on him at all. Brilliant stuff from Widnes. As Offia bows to the crowd, now goes back to his position. He's presented Davis with another very difficult kick. I think Davis is trying to kick goals all night from out here. Way out on the touchline. So Widnes now right on top. Jonathan Davis with the conversion attempt. It's curling around and just missed it. Gee, it very nearly got there. Great attempt from Davis, but he can't add the extras. So the score remains Widnes now 18 and the Canberra Raiders 12. Now, can Canberra come back from this? Let's see what they're made of. It's a big ask of them. One man down at the moment as Daly still has more time to serve in the bin. We're underway again. Courier ambling along. Right on the corner. There's about just over 5 minutes left for Laurie Daly. As Hume will play it right on the quarter line. He's going to take a big effort from Canberra now. McKenzie from dummy half. Good run, good passing now from Widnes. Look at the confidence in this Widnes side. Throwing the ball about now. Grimmer will play it on the halfway mark. Away goes McKenzie down the blind side. Looks for support. It was there. Grimmer's there to take it. The pass was not a good one. Belcher's come up with possession. And Belcher will play it just about on his own corner line. So the Raiders really need to get back into the swing of things. They've lost their momentum. Jackson takes it up strongly. 30 metres out from the Canberra line. Here's Clyde. With the Widnes defence working now. Lazarus, straight ahead goes the big man. They've used up 5 tackles. O'Sullivan, Wood, Stewart, and a beautiful take from the halfback Hume. David Hume driving on it. Now we've seen Alan Tate. This man's got pace to burn. And he's got Offia with him. Talk about pace. The overhead pass for Courier. And Courier's away from one. He's over the corner. The pass back inside for Tate. But the Canberra defence just holding, only just, as Widnes rail away. Davis gets to within 3 metres of the line. Pressure now for the Raiders as the English champions playing with great confidence. Hume got away from one. The one-handed pass picked up by Matthew Wood. He's got some space. Wood up towards the halfway mark. Links up with Belcher, and Belcher's put it down. And it's been picked up by Widnes. Now Widnes throwing it around. Offie has done well to pick it up in his bootlace. He's got support from Ayres. Ayres is away from one. Ayres is going to score. Ayres reaches out and scores another Widnes try. Oh, what sensational stuff here at Old Trafford. You'll go a long way to see better attacking rugby league than this. Richard Ayres, who's been very dominant in this game, scoring the try for Widnes. Just when Matthew Wood for Canberra had taken the ball and looked like they were going to put something on, Widnes have bounced back. Really assert their authority. Watch it, this is Wood. Wood did well to get up towards the halfway mark and found support from Belcher, but uncharacteristically Belcher put the football down. And that was it. Widnes very quickly turning defence into attack again. Offie was there. Look at that, brilliantly picked up from his bootlace. And here was Ayres. He's 10 metres out, got through one tackle, and propping, getting Walters on the wrong foot, reached out and scored the try. That's great stuff from Widnes. Richard Ayres, the try scorer. And he's presented Jonathan Davis with an easier attempted goal.
And the Widnes fans are haunting the Canberra Raiders in the end goal, chanting champions. They're already believing that Widnes have this match.
You can't blame them for that. What a transformation in this football game as Davis from about 15 metres in from touch. And adds the extras. Everything is going right for Widnes. Everything is going wrong for Canberra. Widnes lead the Raiders by 24 points to 12.
Jonathan Davis finally gets one at 24 to 12, a little bit closer to the posts. And Tim Sheens, who at one stage had his side leading 12-0, now has had 24 points straight scored against him. And he's got to search for some answers. Wood to kick off. Brian Smith, can you help out Tim Sheens with some solution to this problem?
There's not a great deal you can do against skill like that. We see the difference in modern-day rugby league. There's Canberra dropping a ball on attack after Matthew Wood's anticipation, but then Widnes showing them how to do it.
And now it's Sorensen leading from the front. He's made some good charges in the second half. Grimmer. Now, Laurie Daly being told just what to do to get this Canberra Raiders side back in this match. There is plenty of time. The scrum will go down. Widnes to feed. Back out for Hume. Dow. The dummy. Ayres. They've been looking for some runners in the pack. Daly just counting down the final seconds before he takes the field again. And Ayres has been one of those runners. So is Sorensen. And Hume puts that ball down. There was a gap there for him if he could have handled it. Back it'll come for the scrum in Canberra now to have the feed, and this match really does. Daly signals that he wants to come back. That does really so much of a repeat about it, the way the first half started with Canberra enjoying all the action. Now it's Widnes. But can Canberra do what Widnes didn't get back? Wood, wrapped up by Davis. Laurie Daly scoots back into the action. Belcher. The skipper now of this Canberra side with Meninga off the field. Daly straight into it. Lazarus. Back for Coyne. Just outside the quarter line as Daly goes wide. O'Sullivan for Clyde. Now Daly. Couldn't get it out. The ball's been knocked down. Widnes in possession. Grimmer. Ayres straightens up. They just can't control the football, Canberra. Grimmer put down powerfully. It was a great ball from McKenzie in the first half. David Hume. Martin's going back there. Belcher will have it. Dummy beautifully. Still going. Well, that's got to get the same treatment, surely, that Laurie Daly got. Sorensen involved with Belcher. Players pulling each other apart here. Now, will Kurt Sorensen spend 10 minutes in the bin? Is there going to be some consistency here from the referee?
Laurie Daly's holding 10 fingers up.
Well, he's not. Here it is as Belcher was setting sail upfield. Did beautifully there to keep his balance and then clopped that straight across the face. But Sorensen is still there. Canberra. About time to get on the board. Lazarus. Much more determination in that run. Coyne. They're right in midfield and just outside the 22. Stewart, the run around with O'Sullivan, back for Lance. He's lost the ball, so Widnes. Play on, says the referee. O'Sullivan, he gets right through, down to the fullback. Tate missed him, and now he's had the ball stolen. Dowd was the last line of defence, and he's come up with a big play. McKenzie, Offia, if he gets away, there's trouble. He's going to kick ahead for himself. He was interfered with. Belcher's going to have the football. He beats Offia easily. The crowd were calling for a penalty. Belcher back for Steve Walters. Some tired-looking players as the ball gets spun about here, there, and everywhere. Of course, Steve's brother Carrad gets married back in Brisbane on Saturday. We wish him well. Coyne, back for Dean Lance. The Widnes defence improving. Touch judges in. Sorensen hit the deck. There's punches being traded in midfield as Canberra run away with the ball. Lance and Pike were exchanging blows. The referee has played on. Walters might score. He doesn't know what's occurred in back play. It's the last tackle. Touch judge is in. He's finally seen him. And the touch judge would have been out there for the initial infringement against Kurt Sorensen. They're going to try and sort out a real mess.
Dean Lance shaped up pretty well, didn't he?
World Club Challenge and World Lightweight Championship between Dean Lance, taking on a much bigger Pike, and the penalty goes to Widnes. We saw it there ever so briefly. Brian Smith, how did you see that one?
I think Dean Lance decided to take some matters into his own hands here. I think he's had enough, and I think perhaps just a little bit of ill discipline there.
Well, that's not a great kick for touch by the Widnes side, but they're able to find it about 30 metres out from the Widnes line. A bit of feeling coming into this game now. 20 minutes gone in the second half. And we've got a scoreline of 24-12 in favour of Widnes, of the Australian champions, Canberra. And this Widnes side, it's quite astounding how their confidence has just grown. Remind you, they were down 12-0, and it really did look a matter of by how far Canberra would win. But then suddenly, they clicked into gear. And Canberra have had their problems, with Meninga not coming back for the second half with a knee injury. That'll find touch. Just about on the quarter line. Carried down as we, with the kick, as we see another substitute coming on. Who's this, Brian?
It's Paul Moriarty coming on for Joe Grimmer.
Paul Moriarty making his way on. Joe Grimmer shakes him by the hand and makes an early exit. And Moriarty goes straight into the second row as Grimmer leaves the field. So Stewart works the scrum. Scrum has collapsed. It's an awful looking scrum. And Canberra come up with a penalty. Right on their own quarter, Canberra. They need to get down the other end. Walters with the restart. Lazarus caught by Moriarty. Still able to offload though to Stewart. Now it's for O'Sullivan. Here's Laurie Daly. Daly's got away from two and finally pulled down just about 9 metres short of the halfway mark. Jackson made it to halfway. Now Bradley Clyde. Enthusiastic defence now from Widnes. A flick pass found Gary Coyne. He in turn's given it away to Lance. It's been knocked down by Courier. So the referee will pull it back for the knock on. Well, you can see another Canberra replacement getting set. Brian, what's the story?
It's Mark Lowry warming up. I'm not sure of who the player coming off is in at this stage.
Okay. Now here's Daly. We're keen to get involved in this game after 10 minutes in the sin bin. Dean Lance straight ahead. Good tackle. Darren Wright making the tackle. Walters from dummy half. Reaches the quarter line. Now what can Canberra put on from here? Belcher's gone into dummy half. Stewart runs straight into Ayres. A little misunderstanding, lack of cohesion creeping into Canberra play. 5 tackles gone. Stewart, now O'Sullivan. Belcher. Giving it back for Wood. Back for Stewart again. And now Laurie Daly. Up for Martin. Martin got around off here. Martin down the touchline, still going. Can he offload his? He has, but it's been knocked down. Widnes come up with it. That's about as close as Canberra can get. Tate playing the football. 10 metres out. Moriarty brings it out. Canberra really need to get this football now. They'll be starting to think about the time that's left in this game. 12 points behind. And Widnes 12 or 13 out from their own line. Hume from dummy half was able to link up with his brother again. They play very well together, these brothers. The flick pass back inside found Moriarty. Now it's with Sorensen. And Sorensen takes it inside Canberra territory. 5 tackles gone. David Hume. Cross for Grimmer. Out for Courier. Courier's got some room to move. But Johnny Ferguson hangs onto his ankles. Still able to get the pass away. And out on the full. So Davis having no luck, and this scrum will go down just, well, it's a turnover in fact. 10 metres from the halfway mark.
Bradley Clyde says it's about time we got something started. Lance. Lazarus. Now Jackson. I believe that he might be the man to come off for Mark Lowry. Walters. Switch of play for Stewart. O'Sullivan. Daly. Kicks ahead. He's got support from Ferguson. Will it stay in field? It won't. Something different. It nearly worked out for Daly. He and Ferguson were on the chase. They were first there, but the ball just went over the touchline.
About the way Canberra's luck's going, isn't it?
Well, they've got to start producing a little bit of luck for themselves. Lowry still trying to get on. The touch judge trying to get the attention of the referee, who says, come across. Well, he's seen the touch judge. So Lowry finally gets on there.
Entrez-vous.
So the game slows down as the Raiders wait to find out who's about to depart. And in fact, it is Jackson. The man who scored that great try in the grand final is off. And Widnes in possession. Tate breaking some tackles. Still not just off the field yet, Jackson. Pike. 24 points to 12. Widnes. The English champions showing the way over the Australian Rugby League champions. Maybe the warning signs there already for Bob Fulton and the Australian Kangaroos, who'll be here next year. Belcher. Ferguson. Away from one. His ankle tap by Davis. Stewart. O'Sullivan off Clyde. Lowry gets his first touch. And this defence from Widnes has certainly improved from what we saw in the first 20 minutes of this match. They were just falling off tackles, and at one stage the scoreline looked like being anything in favour of Canberra. Now amazingly they lead so well. Daly. Ferguson. They can't find a way through. The last tackle. They'll be forced to kick. Stewart's going to try a midfield bomb, and the pressure falling for Tate. He takes it sensationally. They were charging down on him. He did it superbly. Moriarty. Can they apply the pressure here to maybe force an error? Sorensen. McKenzie. Loads for Dowd. Now this kick away from Martin and Belcher, and running well for the touch. They are doing it all well. This second half has been all Widnes. The scrum will go down inside the Canberra quarter line. Stewart will have the feed. The back line in the second half, though, minus their star Meninga. O'Sullivan. Taken by Tate. Stewart. Steve Walters had only just got up off the ground from the scrum. He wasn't expecting the football. Taps it and goes ahead. Coyne. Links up well with Lance. Better support play from Canberra. Call there. fact, Hume had called for the football, so the penalty has gone against him. Very quickly picked up by Mr. Desplat. Now Meninga looks on as they find touch. Steve Lidbury alongside him there on the bench. Lazarus. Time getting away from the Raiders. Lowry coming well back in a strong burst. Just in front of the post and about 15 metres out. They go the blind side. Belcher into the line. Long ball out for O'Sullivan. They just can't get through Canberra. Stewart. Back for Coyne. The defence is still holding. Clyde on the blind. Good ball away for Daly, who will score. Did he control the ball? No, he lost it. Nothing is going right. All he had to do was control the ball, and it was a try. Daly runs back into position as Widnes have a quick restart. Dowd is clear. He's got a ton of support. Wright's inside him. Wright will score under the post. Canberra were caught napping at the other end. That will be the World Club Challenge. It will stay in England. Offia and Wright show their joy, as does Doug Lawton, their coach. Canberra didn't manage to get back into position. The quick thinking from Widnes has now seen the disappointment written all over the bench there for Canberra. Right under the black dot, which will just set up another 2 points for Davis. Now this was the no try for Daly. There he had the ball, lost it, and couldn't maintain control. And we're just waiting, as they were for the restart. They came back. Well, hopefully we'll get a replay of that try shortly. We're relying on BBC pictures here tonight. And that chant of the champions has started up again by the Widnes supporters. And right in front, Jonathan Davis. There's his angle for you. You can throw it over. He really puts it out of Old Trafford over the top of the stands. And amazing that is now that scoreline of 30 points to 12. Well, Brian Smith, here we go.
Is a feature of Widnes play. When they talk about Widnes on the break and taking advantage of that break, here's the perfect example. Lovely footwork, lovely feet, lovely hands, great support, and the speed in all positions. Every player in the back line can do the business.
Widnes set to take up this World Club Challenge. And for Brian Smith, an Australian living in England, it's going to be a long winter for you, my friend. So the Widnes side now. Ayres bringing it up. Well, Timmy Sheen's face says it all, doesn't it? Very disappointed. They were really keen to perform well in this game. With about 7 minutes of this club challenge left, Widnes well in control. And mistakes just coming with regularity now in the Raiders outfit. Lazarus showing his frustration. Well, no doubt you heard that. The attendance here at Old Trafford, a marvellous crowd, 30,786. And they've certainly enjoyed some fantastic rugby league. And look at Johnny Ferguson showing a clean pair of heels. Still going, Fergo. And look at Chica. Oh, he's an amazing man. Gets to within 32 metres of the Widnes line. And the Raiders come up with the penalty. Widnes wouldn't get off him. But Chica Ferguson really had another outstanding year. Still showing the way here tonight. His side is well beaten. His certainly has lost no spark at all. And the Raiders now inside the quarter with the restart. Perfect position to put something on. There's plenty of talking and plenty of pointing. What are they going to come up with? Clyde comes up with the football. He's 10 metres short. Lazarus. Charging at the line. Pulled down only 2 or 3 metres out. Now Lance. Quick hands to Coyne. It's come back for Clyde. Dummied with an overhead pass and takes the tackle, and it's still about 3 metres short of the line. Walter's in a dummy half. He may go on his own. Not this time. Out for Stewart and then on to O'Sullivan. They're going to spin it now as Daly got it on for Belcher. Belcher looked inside and hung on to the football. He's only 3 metres out. Martin gave it back for Walters, who charges up the line and is pushed over the touchline. Very, very close. You see how close he is. Walters just couldn't get there. So another attacking raid amounts to nothing for this Canberra outfit. Widnes will have the scrum feed as Hume serves it up. It's gone with the feed. And here they come again, this Widnes side now with Tate charging into the back line. He's had a very strong game tonight, the fullback. Moriarty has it. 360-degree turn for him. We're just on the quarter line. Canberra player down there injured. You can see flick pass from McKenzie. Gone astray, but Tate comes up with the football. Caught by Lowry. It's Dean Lansdowne receiving attention. I'm sure he's okay, Debbie, down in Lakeside Hotel. He'll be okay. Chicken Ferguson's come back for it. And the ball beats him though. Again, Jonathan Davis finds touch. Ferguson looked to have it covered, but the bounce was all Widnes' way. So this scrum will go down 32 metres out from the Canberra line. The announcement being made to the crowd here that the man of the match has voted for over here has gone to the Widnes halfback David Hume. As the Raiders come up with the scrum win, Belcher decides to kick on the first tackle. Offie has come back to collect it. The bounce is going to beat him. Offie is offside, he knows it. Now, well, what have they done here? He's given the penalty. Yeah, there's an offside play. So Stewart comes up with a quick restart. O'Sullivan. Certainly it's a strange decision from the French referee because Canberra were set to score. Well, it's certainly a long way out, but he's given them the penalty. They're still trying to keep up their momentum now as Clyde takes it over the quarter line. Even a little hasty calling play up when he did. Walters a dummy half. Lazarus. Offloaded to Walters. Walters will score. Walters, is he there? Yes, he is. The Frenchman says that's a try, monsieur. And Steve Walters, who got so very close just a little while ago, is in the score for the Canberra side, alongside the right-hand upright. So he's rewarded for a big effort tonight. Certainly it's come too late for the Raiders, but it will add some respectability to the scoreline. As Lazarus took the football up, he's done a lot of hard work, Lazarus, early on, and maybe went quiet for 20 minutes, and that was a great ball up for Walters, who showed great determination to reach out and score. Put the ball down right on the line, it's close enough. And that try was converted. The kick was successful. So the score is now reduced a little. It's 30-16 in favour of the Widnes side. Make that 30-18. Well, it's a soccer scoreboard here. They're not used to having so many numbers up. So the restart now from Widnes. Closing moments of this match. We must only have a couple of minutes left. There's about 60 seconds remaining, in fact. Martin got through one or two defenders. Now cross for Belcher. Then O'Sullivan and then for Laurie Daly. Matthew Wood's done very well, but pulled down 10 metres short of the halfway mark by Davis. Ferguson got away from Davis. Lowry. Coyne. Full-time siren sounds. Widnes, the English champions, become the World Club champions here at Old Trafford tonight. A resounding victory over the Canberra Raiders. Bear in mind they were down 12 points to 0 and they've come back remarkably to win this game tonight. A very disappointed Canberra side trudged from the field, but rejoicing in the Widnes side. World Club champions, and some consolation for Andy Courier, beaten in the Sydney Grand Final while playing for Balmain. Reversed the situation here tonight, playing on the winning side for Widnes against Canberra. Canberra, it was a big effort to ask them, after 4 or 5 days of celebrating, to hop on a jet plane and fly over here and then build themselves up. They did the best they could. They seemed to be in the right frame of mind before this game, but it wasn't their night tonight. Brian, after 10 or 15 minutes, it was a matter of by how far Canberra would win, so full credit to Widnes for coming back. Brian Smith can't hear me sideline because there's a lot of noise down there. Gary Coyne in trouble as he's limping from the field. Johnny Ferguson wearing the Widnes jumper now. Coyne being assisted from the field. The championship trophy being presented to Kurt Sorensen, captain of the Widnes side. Listen to the cheer. The crowd acknowledging Widnes as the World Club champions. Martin Offey now holding the trophy, wearing the Canberra jumper. Passing the trophy right along the Widnes side. There's the lock forward play very strongly. A very proud moment for Widnes. They went into this match probably as underdogs in many people's eyes. Full credit to them. Andy Courier. As the presentations continue to the Widnes side, Martin Offey has come into the centre of the field. He's waving to the crowd and they love it. Running over to the Widnes fans. Very happy man, Martin Offey. A little dance for him. Get out and boogie, Martin. And throwing the jumper into the crowd. It's a Canberra jumper too. Meanwhile, back in the presentation area, the players in the Widnes side holding the trophy, getting the feel of being a World Club champion. But as it is in every championship match, for every winner you've got to have a loser, and tonight it was Canberra. Disappointing for them to finish the season this way. But they are certainly true champions of the Australian Rugby League, no question of that. David Hume is there to get his photograph taken. Received the Man of the Match award here, as voted for by the British press. the Widnes supporters showing their appreciation to their boys. 30,786 here at Old Trafford to witness this tonight. Now the disappointing moment for Canberra as they receive the consolation award. Bradley Clyde tried his hardest, as did all the Canberra side. Certainly gave it their best shot, but it wasn't their night. It wasn't meant to be. These are the fellas who were meant to win tonight. Now the photographs being taken. And the Widnes boys showing their appreciation of their photographers. And while these celebrations continue, let's take a break and we'll be back shortly here at Old Trafford, Manchester.
Welcome back here to Old Trafford. What a marvellous performance tonight by this Widnes side to become the champions. They're just completing their lap of honour here at Old Trafford. Jonathan Davis there talking to some of the members of the media and just waving thumbs up to the crowd. An outstanding performance, a quick shot there of Kurt Sorensen to Brian Smith. We keep on saying it, 12-0 the Canberra Raiders led. I just can't believe the way this game turned around.
Well, that's the strength of Widnes. Perhaps it was a bit of a mountain, too much for Canberra tonight, but you really can't take anything away from Widnes. Their handling skills, their running skills are just something else, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. I was quite surprised. Canberra, any claims we think that maybe they didn't have their minds quite on it after the grand final?
Well, I thought they started with their minds on it, but once the wheel started to turn, I think they really started to crumble. Having said that, there were a couple of things that could have gone their way. I thought a couple of tries in the first half, pass didn't quite go to hand. Laurie Daly's in the corner that turned out a try at the other end.
All right, well, Kurt Sorensen, the victorious skipper here from Widnes, and a guy well known to all the Sydney fans, has just joining me. He's got the Foster's World Trophy in his hands. Kurt, an amazing performance the way this game just came around, but you believed in yourself and showed plenty of character.
Yeah, I think that's sort of what happened in the beginning. We were, Canberra were a bit unknown to us, and, there was a bit of fear there, I think, as everyone is of recent Australian teams. But I think once we felt that they were just as human as us, we just let our football speak for, how we felt. Well, you showed all the world tonight the way you did it, but what was going through your mind at 12-0 down after about 10 or 12 minutes? Well, this team sort of come from, a long way. It's been built on pretty strong foundations, and we've been in crises before. You know what it's like to sort of come from behind, and we've learned over the years now that, we know we can strong enough to come back. So we just, kept coming back, kept coming in, and gradually it came. You know so much about the Sydney game and the Australian game of rugby league. It was always said that the English game was starting to catch up. Another show of that tonight. Yeah, well, I said that earlier on, before the game, and I believe that it's just, Australia's got that many more numbers of good players. No question of the standard of the game over here. It's getting better and better, and I think we demonstrated that tonight. Well, Kurt, it's another great season here at home, opening up now for Widnes. We wish the well for it, and congratulations tonight. Cheers. Right. Kurt Sorensen, the Widnes skipper, and the skipper now of the World Rugby League Club Champions. And Billy Anderson, I know there'll be some shocked people down there in the nation's capital tonight.
Well, Graham, they're filing out now of the Lakeside Hotel on their way to work. I don't know that they're all going to get there, but their enthusiasm never waned. I think a little bit of lubrication might have helped there, Peter Chaplin, but it was a terrific game of football, one that had always looked as if Canberra had in control, and then they were able to fight back the Widnes side. A super effort by them, really, wasn't it?
Yeah, they certainly did. It looked at one stage as though how much Canberra were going to win by, but then that turning point in the second half, your opinion?
Well, I thought the turning point was the Jonathan Davies try. I believe that had that one not been awarded, that Canberra might have been able to get away with the match. There are always things in a game of rugby league that if they go one way, it can turn the game. They go the other way, the balance of the game swings against you, and that was what exactly happened there. Daly got sent from the field for 10 minutes. 2 tries were scored. scored by Widnes in that period of time, and of course Canberra never able to get back from there. I must say I thought that a little bit of tiredness crept into the Canberra game, and that caused three things to fall apart. Firstly, they dropped the ball, they didn't have possession. Secondly, the intensity in defence dropped off. And most importantly, their transition game. That period of a football game where you move from defence to attack or attack to a defence, it became non-existent, and in the end that cost them dearly also.
Well, it certainly did, and you must remember too that Canberra backed up after winning the Winfield Cup only a week or so ago, and then had to make the big trip over there. So full marks to Canberra for really giving it their all over there. Well, they didn't win it, but they certainly gave it their best shot.
OK, Graham, terrific scenes here at Canberra. The people disappointed they weren't able to get away with the match, but I'm sure they went home satisfied with the quality of game that they saw.
Game, and what a superb fight back by Widnes from 12-0 down. It was almost incredible, but it really happened, and enjoying it to the full now are Andy Currier, for whom it was sweet revenge over Canberra, and a very proud Widnes coach, Dougie Lawton. Dougie, you must have felt, along with the rest of us, that you were dead and buried after 12 minutes.
Yeah, my actual thoughts were another week like a week last Wednesday when I played again, when I had Lancashire again Yorkshire, and I thought, the way that not another licking by the Aussies, I thought it could be 50 this, the way it was going. But then I did think also, if they let us start playing a bit, we will play. And I thought they can't keep that up surely for 80 minutes. They were marvellous.
What was the turning point for you? Was it the first try, the second, the one just after half-time? When did you feel it was beginning to go your way?
Well, when we got the first try, obviously we were 12-0 down, and they could have had another one, to be honest. If we'd done 18, I think we'd have lost it. But when we got the 4 back, I thought, well, I thought before the game, I watched a lot of videos of them, I thought they had a very good side. And I thought, but we will get 20 again, anybody. So I thought, well, we get 4, and then we get another 6. If we get 6, we get a 6, another 6, and build on that. And at half time, I thought they looked as though they were tired, and they weren't knocking us down as hard. We looked as though we was gaining confidence, and I know what the lads can do from long distance. I thought, well, the longer the game goes on, the better we'll go, and we did.
You got the try early in the second half. That put you in front. That must have been a tremendous boost, and also the fact that their centre was sent to the sin bin.
Yeah, then there was after that there was about 20 minutes when I thought we might get 40 now or 50, because we were magic for about 20 minutes, and then towards the end we started to get tired again and they came back a bit. But I do think, I'm very proud of the lads. I think they've surprised even me tonight, because 12-0 against an Aussie side, you should be dead and buried, to be honest. They normally do that to you. But credit to Canberra, they did play, and they did come out and play well, and they are probably the best footballing club side I've seen in Australia for a long, long time.
And would you say the fact that Meninga was injured and then Tony Myler injured more or less cancelled each other out?
I mean, I'm not bothered. I've had injuries all week. I had Colotto out and Mike O'Neill out, who've been in my side regular. So you've just got to take them things. Injuries are injuries, but you expect them in a game. That's why people have subs.
And you must have done something for Great Britain tonight.
Yeah, I'm very glad for the whole country, because I do think we should think more of our sportsmen, because if you get behind them as the crowd did tonight, it shows what they will do for you. And they did get behind them, and the crowd was magic to the lads.
Wonderful stuff, Dougie. No wonder you're proud. Now, Andy Currier, you were beaten with the Balmain side in the grand final in Sydney, so it must have been sweet revenge.
Yeah, they had a different 12 players with me tonight. We throw the ball out more, so they were 12-0 up, but I didn't think we were dead and buried. We just needed to stick in there and hopefully get a couple of points, which is what we did.
How did it feel out there on the park? I mean, you must have been a bit dazed and bewildered when they swept into that league and were running rags around you.
Yeah, they took us by surprise. I think we were given a bit too much respect, and once our forwards started seeing their forwards go down, we gave them a bit of heart, and these Aussies do go down, so it spurred us on. We got a couple of good tries, and no, I think we were good. Well-deserved victory in the end.
What did this fella say to you at half-time?
He just said keep going, mainly. I said we were playing well enough. We just had to keep knocking them down, and we came up with the goods in the end.
Now, you've had a whole season with Balmain in Australia. Tonight, Britain have world champions. Is our game up with the Aussies now?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've got the players to match them. I mean, it showed tonight and what Wigan did against Manly. You can't get carried away by all this. I mean, each game is a different game, and we've just got to keep on going.
And with me now from Canberra Raiders, the man who starred on the wing for Wigan at Wembley in 1985, John Ferguson. John, you must be bitterly disappointed to lose after going 12 points in the lead and playing so well.
Yes, unfortunately, the way things turned out, I think we made too many mistakes in that second half. Widnes capitalised on them and they scored the tries.
Do you feel that the loss of Mal Meninga made a big difference?
Oh, definitely. We've been playing all year, and from personal experience, I know that if Mal's on the paddock, everybody's confident. He's just that sort of a guy that installs confidence in the young players and that. And we missed him.
But what do you feel about the Widnes performance? It was a great comeback, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that's tremendous football. I enjoyed the game. All games are 80 minutes of football, and you know, they come away the winners.
Well, one man who, unfortunately for him, has had longer to change than most people is the Canberra captain, Mal Meninga, who went off injured at half-time. What's the injury, Mal?
Well, Keith, unfortunately, just before half-time, I strained my medial ligament in my left knee and couldn't continue.
How much do you think, sparing your own modesty, did that influence the game? Because John Ferguson was saying that they miss your leadership on the field.
Well, I thank John for that, but you know, we've got very capable players in our team, and we can't offer really any excuses for tonight's performance. You know, it's very difficult for us to back up after such putting big effort in the Sydney competition, but full marks to Widnes, they deserved their win tonight.
It was amazing that you were 12-0 up, missed another couple of chances, and Dougie Lawton thought they were dead and buried. You must have thought you'd won it.
We didn't think we won it, we just wanted to keep continuing with the same intensity. Unfortunately, we dropped off, we made a lot of mistakes, and Widnes capitalised on it, and at half-time we definitely let them back in the game at 12-10.
How did you see the incident, I know you were off the field then, where Jonathan Davis was awarded a try and Daly was sent to the sin bin? I think there's a bit of ill feeling in the dressing room about those two decisions.
There's a bit of ill feeling. I didn't see the incident personally. I'm not really quite sure what happened there. I felt that there wasn't too much complaining about, so I thought it must have been a great decision. The only thing that I felt was pretty strange, when you award a penalty try, you award underneath the sticks.
I think, in fact, in hindsight, a try was awarded rather than a penalty try. The touchdown was made before the foul, so, you know, we'll know from the video pictures. Mal, just one final question. You won't be coming back yet a while to St Helens because of the ban that's been put on you by the Canberra management. Do you think you'll ever come back to play in England again?
Oh, definitely, Keith. Yeah, I believe that you know, all my energies are going to be towards getting on the 1990 Kangaroo Tour. And I said to St Helens that I may be available after that tour.
Do you want to come back to England again?
I love that. You know, loved the time. I had a great time over in 84, 85. It's been a while, but I'd like to come back and play out a couple of seasons over here, hopefully.
Well, what a night, what a match, and what world champions, Widnes.